And after queen to e6, he realized that it wasn't his queen that was his most powerful weapon in this position. It was his rook. And feel free to pause here and find the best move for white, the best combination. It's one of the most iconic knockout combinations in chess. Starting with the most forcing move in chess, which is a check. And I will now show it to you. Bishop takes d7. The idea of playing queen to e6 is that now by moving the pin, a queen out of this pin, you can take with a knight. And it seems you've solved your problems. Your next move is pawn to f6, repelling the bishop. Maybe you're going to trade queens and then play pawn to f6, I should say, otherwise you lose the queen. And then you're very happy. But here, do Carl and his count, despite focusing fully on this game and completely not on the spectacular performance that was going on behind them because they were in a private booth, completely negated to analyze the move queen to b8, which just looks completely illegal. But that's why Paul Morphy is Paul Morphy. And these two bozos are these two bozos. Queen to b8 check. The beautiful knockout punch, because now the king cannot move anywhere. The knight has to take. And remember, I told you the most powerful attacking piece was actually the rook. Well, you can argue it was the bishop. I mean, who doesn't need a supporting cast, right? But rook to d8. A beautiful mate. Absolutely beautiful mate. The conclusion of the historic 1858 opera game. A game with a lot of interesting principles. Actually, if you really go through this game, it's not just about the flashiness and, you know, Paul Morphy and the whole story. It's a lot of, you know, interesting layers of this game. I'll just recap them for you. Taking the center in 2 pawns. Bishop g4 being inaccurate. In fact, in general, you should probably take in the center early and then commit your pieces. One more thing is don't get the bishops out and trade them off so quickly. Because the thing is, as the board opens up, you've been presented with the light squared bishop so early. And now your light squared bishop comes alive. It has no counterpart. You cannot give away bishops so early in the game unless you keep the position closed. So it's better to develop your knights early than bishops. And for white, it's immediately important to counterbalance the desire to just naturally develop your pieces with actually posing your opponent serious dangers in the opening, right? And that's what Paul Morphy did. Not taking material in view of wanting to keep more pieces on the board and potentially long-lasting attacking effects, right? And then ultimately not overextending, not opening the board to such an extent when your king is still in the middle, even at the cost of material. And if you're ever looking to sacrifice a piece for 2 pawns, make sure you have a concrete follow-up. If it's very easy for your opponent to get their king out of danger, for example, it's probably not good. But in this case, it was not easy. And there were many, many more layers to the attack that ultimately culminated in a beautiful sacrifice and another beautiful sacrifice and checkmate.